don't even know how to start this video. This is something that I've really wanted to do for a long time. These videos have really helped me in my journey and healing, and I hope that me putting this video out continues to help me heal. I feel like talking about this has helped a lot. Not talking about it has made it harder. And I hope this video resonates with someone and helps them. But this is just a part of my healing journey. So this is like so weird to talk about into a camera. I'm gonna be talking about my infertility journey. Saying that out loud feels weird. I just turned 26 in November. We have been trying for officially about 14 months, and we've had 4 miscarriages in that time. We've actually had those 4 miscarriages in about a 9-month period. So it's been hard. And I never thought this would be my journey. You know, we started trying right when I turned 25. It was November of 2019. So I literally just turned 25 and we started trying. We were ready, we were excited, and that's where this journey starts. So I guess that's where I'm gonna start. So we started trying, we were really excited, and just to preface, I have no history of like endometriosis, PCOS, any like current thyroid issues or anything like that. I have very regular cycles, so again, I'm healthy. I had no reasons to think my journey would be hard. So we started trying in November, didn't get pregnant in November, tried it in December, and found out December 27th of 2019 that we were pregnant. And we were so excited. I could not believe that in 2 months we had gotten pregnant. First time trying, it felt so surreal. We were so excited. And I remember I called my OB. I set up an appointment. I was super excited, and I didn't even know how to calculate how far along you were. So whenever I called and they asked when my last cycle was, and you know, I think the nurse told me I was like 5 weeks and a few days, and I was shocked. I was like, that's so weird. Like I didn't know how the calculation works, and I was in shock. I was like, there's something inside of me. This is crazy. Like I had no symptoms. I was a little fatigued when I first found out. A little tired, but that was it. But no other symptoms to even think I was pregnant. So my first ultrasound was January 15th, and I didn't really know what to expect. Again, I was very naive to pregnancy and everything it entailed and calculations and all of that, like I said. So I go in and I don't know what to expect. I don't know what I'm gonna see on the screen. And I go in thinking I'm about 7.5 weeks, and the doctor says that measurement wise I'm about 5 weeks, and that everything looks good, just a little earlier than we thought, and we got to see a little flicker of a heartbeat. So again, that first ultrasound seemed to have gone well. My doctor didn't seem concerned. I wasn't concerned. I was really excited. I had already started buying things for a nursery and started buying clothing. Again, I had no reason to think anything was gonna go wrong, and I had no symptoms of anything. Again, my only symptom was really fatigue the whole time. And I went in a few weeks later. When did I go in? I went in, yeah, about 2 weeks later, January 30th, for a second ultrasound. I was super excited at this point. My original, like all the apps were telling me I should have been about 9.5, 10 weeks, and the doctor was very silent during this ultrasound, and my eyes started watering immediately. I had a feeling something was wrong. And again, I didn't know what the ultrasound, like looking at the ultrasound screen and stuff, I couldn't see what was wrong. And I remember he turned like all the lights back on and told me that there was no more heartbeat and that this wasn't going to be a viable pregnancy. And I was in complete shock. I had no emotions. I didn't really know what to say. It was, you know, it was very unexpected that happened. I was in so much pain physically, mentally, emotionally. You know, I didn't know how to cope. I was a wreck. It was, I mean, a very hard time. Soon after, I went back to work, and I think I told everyone I had like the flu or something. Went back to work, and then a few weeks later, the world shut down. And I was really thankful to be home during that time because it was just helping me heal. So it kind of all happened, you know, I mean, obviously what's happening in the world isn't good, but I was very thankful that I got to heal more at home. We took a few months off. I was emotionally really hurt from everything that had happened, and we took a few months off from trying, and we started trying again. And we got pregnant again. July 6th is when I found out. And I had a little bit of nausea. I had a little bit more symptoms, but I was also more aware of what my symptoms could be. So I think I was just mentally trying to keep track of them. And I called my OB. I was really excited and scheduled an appointment. And I think at that point I was very early. I think I was like 4 weeks I had found out, like right when you could. That was July 6th, and then July 17th, which was like 2 days before my appointment was supposed to be, I started bleeding really heavy. And so I called my doctor immediately. He had me come in. We did blood work. I think we did an ultrasound, and he could kind of see something, but again, I had been bleeding for a few hours before they could get me in. And we did the blood results, came back that I was pregnant. They don't really know how far along. Again, I think I wrote that the day I started bleeding, I should have been about 5 weeks and 5 days. And so the doctors consider this a chemical pregnancy, which just basically, we probably wouldn't see anything on the ultrasound, but it was just a really early miscarriage. And so whenever I was at the doctor, my OB, he did refer me, since I'd had 2 miscarriages so close together. He said it could be nothing, you know, it could be just random, but he referred me to a fertility specialist. And I was in complete shock. I had no idea that I was gonna have to go to a fertility specialist. I was 25 years old. I didn't even think, you know, again, I didn't think people my age dealt with this, and I know I'm not like super young, but you know. So we went to the specialist and we had a consultation with him, and he kind of said the same thing. He goes, you know, y'all both are very healthy, you have everything going for you. These could have been 2 just, you know, random things that happened, but let's do some tests. And so I remember I was still waiting for my cycle to start again from my next, from the miscarriage. I was waiting for my cycle to start back up. And the doctor told me to call him when my cycle started back up, and we were gonna do a procedure called the hysteroscopy. I think that's how you say it. I always butcher how you say it, which is basically where they go in with a camera and just kind of see, I'm probably not saying this correctly, but they go in just to kind of see if like your tubes and your ovaries, if everything like physically is kind of good, there's no scar tissue or anything, just to rule that out. And he did tell me, he said most of the time they do that procedure and they don't find anything, but it's a really easy way to rule out one scenario. And so, and I remember he even made a joke. He said, you know, you could be pregnant right now, like, you know, everything could be fine. And I think we went in August. It was like right around my husband's 26th birthday, like right before. Yeah, I just remember him saying that and being like, I can't be pregnant again. Like, there's no way. I haven't gotten my cycle back. Like, I'm excited to do this procedure and get some answers. And then August 13th, which was like, I think 10 days, maybe 11 days after we met with the fertility specialist, found out I was pregnant. I could not believe it. We weren't trying. It was literally like a fluke. We literally did not try. We avoided my ovulation cycle. And somehow we felt pregnant. And I just remember I called the fertility specialist, told them. I immediately went in and started doing beta blood work, which is like your HCG level, which is the pregnancy hormone. It'll give you the positive pregnancy test, things like that. And so I just remember I went in and my levels like weren't even. I had gotten like a pretty decent positive test. I had like these cheapy Amazon tests, and the line was getting darker, which is usually a good sign on pregnancy tests. And I remember the nurse called me and she was like, when was your last cycle? She was really confused because the number that I got back, I think anything over a 5 is a positive test. Anything under a 4 is negative. And I think I was like a 4 or something. And she was like, this isn't showing. She was like, you could just be a little earlier than you think, but we're gonna have you come in and do another test. Did another test and it was positive, so that was good. Did another test because they wanted to see the numbers double. Didn't really double. And they're like, well, again, like, you know, sometimes this happens. You know, they were trying to be very optimistic, and sometimes people's numbers don't double right away. That can be a bad sign, could be nothing. I did so much research on this, and I was a part of a fertility support group on Facebook, and I was sharing my numbers, and everyone was like, oh, I had worse numbers than that, and it doesn't matter, like, it's gonna get better. And felt really good. And then my numbers got better, and then they didn't. And so my doctors were concerned. They wanted me to come in and have an ultrasound done to rule out an ectopic pregnancy. And so we did the ultrasound, and basically I think all they could see was a gestational sac. They couldn't see anything else, and they considered it another chemical pregnancy, and there was no ectopic pregnancy, which was really good, but found that out. So I think the date that happened was August 30th, and I was 5 weeks and 5 days according to them. So that's whenever, you know, I found out that was, again, you know, not a good pregnancy. And again, they said when my cycle started back up that we would do the procedure, the hysteroscopy, which is what we were planning on doing this whole time. So we waited for my cycle to come back, and then October 1st, I took a test. I wasn't feeling the best. I think I was pretty nauseated. So I took a test just as a joke. Like, I just remember thinking it was going to be negative, and there was no way. There was literally no way we could be pregnant. We were careful that we weren't trying, and I just started laughing, honestly. Seeing a positive pregnancy test wasn't even exciting at this point. I was so used to them that the joy kind of started falling. And so I just remember just being so annoyed that I was pregnant. I was hopeful, but I was just like, I just want to get this procedure done. I don't understand. October 1st, I found out, and October 24th, we had been doing blood work, and all my blood work was amazing. My blood work was over doubling. It was exactly where we needed it to. They were so, sorry, they were so hopeful. So October 24th, we saw a heartbeat, everything looked really good, and then we were getting weekly ultrasounds, and they just didn't see a lot of growth. They again told me, they were like, with natural pregnancies, you can be earlier than you think. You know, I had my first ultrasound, I was right where we thought I was. I measured correctly. Second ultrasound, we saw the heartbeat again. We couldn't hear it, but we saw it. And I was measuring a little bit earlier. So like, just to put in perspective, like let's say my first ultrasound was 5 weeks, 1 day. The next ultrasound was like 5 weeks, 5 days, and it should have been like 6 weeks, 2 days or something like that. I'm getting the dates mixed up, but it wasn't measuring quite well. And so the next time I was measuring the same as last week, but they weren't too concerned. They're like, again, measurements can be off this early. We still saw a heartbeat. We still couldn't hear it, but we could see the measurements. So we felt really good. But I started to panic a little bit. I felt like we should have seen more growth. And I went in for another ultrasound to kind of figure out what was going on. And I remember my doctor saying that there was no heartbeat. And this was the first pregnancy that we really were tracking and that everything was going well. And I found out there was no heartbeat the day before my 26th birthday. It was November 3rd. And they wanted me to come back November 5th just to like make sure. So November 3rd I found out, and I just knew. I knew it wasn't going to be okay. I knew there was no chance we were going to see a heartbeat the next ultrasound, that this, you know, pregnancy wasn't going to work out. And so we went in November 6th and they just confirmed, or November 5th, they confirmed everything. And this time we did a DNC to check for genetic issues and see kind of, this was the first tissue we could test. And so that was really crazy. I haven't had surgery since I was a baby. I haven't had an IV put in me. It was super scary. I wasn't really so much worried about the procedure itself. It was just the process. And I don't remember ever being put under again. I was a baby the last time I had anything done. And so I was just really nervous about that whole experience. It was a very quick procedure. Doctors were super nice. And we found out a few weeks later that there was an abnormality and that there was no chance that it was ever going to be a viable pregnancy. So it's kind of where we're at. Found that out in December, and basically they were just like, let's go back to what we were gonna do. Let's do this hysteroscopy, then we can move forward with, you know, your plan, but we have to do this first. And so my cycle took a really long time to come back. After every previous miscarriage, my cycle came back like 28 days later. Again, I was super regular. This time it took a while to come back. I don't know if it was because of the procedure or if I was just so far along in this one. So it finally came back, and I've been on birth control just to kind of stop my cycle so that they can get a really good read. And I go in a few weeks for my procedure. This procedure we've been meaning to do since August, and I'm really excited to hopefully get some answers. You know, being in these support groups and talking to people in my life who have been through fertility treatments and things, you know, you almost wish that they would tell you something was wrong so you could know. Not having answers, not knowing is super hard. Not knowing why things keep happening, you know. I never thought that from January 2020 to November 2020 I'd be saying I've had 4 miscarriages. It just doesn't sound real. It's been a lot, and I'm excited to get answers. Excited for this procedure. I'm excited to move forward. I don't know what our journey is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be just a medication that'll, you know, solve everything, if it's going to be IVF. I really don't know. I don't even know all the other options. This is, you know, we're starting all over. And that's just all I know so far. So being 26, and I feel like a lot of people in my life are starting to get pregnant and announce their pregnancies, announce their second pregnancies. It's hard to watch people around you and online announce and, you know, seem to happen so easily for them. And that's hard, and, you know, it doesn't get easier hearing things like that, but I don't know their journey. I don't know if it was hard for them. I just know my own journey, and never in a million years thought I'd be at a fertility specialist at 25, now 26. I really do like my doctors. I like the staff. I feel really good going there, which is good. I remember someone told me that, you know, if this is going to be a long road, you become really close with them. So you want to really enjoy the doctors and the nurses and the staff that works there. And I do. It's very close to me. I feel very comfortable, and I'm ready for answers, and this is the start. So this is my journey thus far. Has not been easy. It's been very emotional, but like I keep saying, at this point I'm just ready for more answers and hopefully just moving forward. And I hope if you're going through something similar that you find answers to and that everything works out. I mean, in the end, going through this journey, I think we all kind of have the same end goal, and that's becoming a parent, becoming a mother. And that's what I want. It's what I wanted my whole life. So it's definitely, it's hard. But I mean, sadly, it gets easier. You know, you cope, you learn to cope, you have a support system, but talking about it, doing things like this is definitely helping. And I just know posting this is going to be a huge part of my healing process, and I hope this helps someone. It's a very interesting journey I've had, but it's mine, and I just know once everything happens, once we have a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby, however it happens, whatever route we have to go, it's gonna be a really hard but amazing journey and story to share one day, and it's all gonna be worth it. So that's my journey. I hope this video was helpful. Hope you enjoyed watching it. No, it's not the most positive video, but it's my story.